living in space. My name is Anna, and I am your mission briefing officer. Now, I would like for all of you to imagine that you are in space, specifically in front of an early mock-up of part of the International Space Station, also known as the ISS. From November 2000 right up through today, astronauts from Russia, Canada, Europe, Japan, and of course, the good old USA have been continuously living and working in space. So although we no longer fly the space shuttle, our human presence in low Earth orbit will continue for years to come aboard the ISS. We have a crew of 6 up there right now. Now the space station is very big. It spans the length of a US football field, travels at 17,500 miles per hour, that's 28,100 kilometers per hour, and orbits the Earth 16 times a day. That means that you would see a sunrise and a sunset every 90 minutes. It has all the amenities of home, 2 bathrooms, a gym, a 360-degree bay window, and my favorite part, free Wi-Fi. Now we're currently using the Russian Soyuz as transportation. However, by 2018, we will have 2 American commercial spacecrafts available, the Boeing CST-100 or Starliner and the SpaceX Dragon V2. Now both of these are very exciting spacecrafts that we're really looking forward to. Now that is how we get our crew up there, but how do we get all the cargo, supplies, and experiments they'll need while they're on the station? Those are actually launched to the station separately on various resupply vehicles, some from international space agencies and some from the US. For example, Orbital Science's Cygnus and SpaceX's Dragon are 2 of our American resupply crafts. Now, considering all of that, do we have any young astronauts who would like to begin astronaut training? Raise your hand if you want to be an astronaut. Anyone wants to be an astronaut? I have a young at heart over there. Anyone, you want to be an astronaut? Would you like to be an astronaut?
Yeah.
Really? All right, come on up here. All right, what's your name?
Sally.
Sally, where are you from?
Egypt.
That is so cool. All right, everyone, let's give a big round of applause for Sally, our brave astronaut volunteer. Are you excited to be an astronaut today, Sally?
Yes.
I'm excited for you. All right, so I want you to follow me up these stairs. Now watch your step. You're not floating just yet. Sally, welcome aboard the International Space Station. Go ahead and wave goodbye to all your friends down there on Earth. Now, if we were up on the actual space station, we would be in a weightless environment called microgravity. That means that you and I would be floating right now. In fact, everything floats. Think about it. You wouldn't have to pick up your room or kitchen or anything because nothing would ever hit the floor. Pretty cool, right? Now, on the flip side of things, unless you secure your things, they won't stay where you put it. But don't worry, Sally. If you lose your comb or pencil or toothbrush, you'll probably find it at the end of the day, stuck to the filters on the air recycling system. Humans trying to live in space are sort of like fish out of water. Space is a very hostile environment for humans, but luckily the ISS provides them with all of the life support functions needed to keep them healthy. Now, on the first day or 2 in space, some astronauts come down with space adaptation syndrome or space sickness. So every astronaut gets their very own emesis management system. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a barf bag. Now, don't worry, Sally. You'll only need it for the first day or 2 you're in space. But if you find you do need to use your EMS, it is very important that you get everything in the bag, because otherwise you know what's going to be floating around the station, and you don't want that to happen. All right, Sally, let's say you've come in after a long day of spacewalking and you are ready to get some sleep. But if you just closed your eyes and drifted off, well, you'd be drifting off, all right. You'd be floating around the module, bumping into switches and even other astronauts. So every astronaut gets their very own sleep restraint unit. And now, Sally, we're gonna tuck you into bed. I want you to stand right over here for me. A little big on this, but that's okay. All right, go ahead and put one arm in here, and then the other arm in here. And I'm gonna zip you up. Perfect. Sally, does it feel a little weird sleeping strapped to the wall? Yeah? Well, I wonder what you're gonna think of the top bunk. No, I'm just kidding. In microgravity, there is no up or down, floor or ceiling, east or west. So one astronaut can sleep here, one here, one here, and one right where I'm standing, and they'd all feel the same. But here on Earth, you probably wouldn't feel very comfortable sleeping upside down for 8 hours. All right, Sally, you just took a nice power nap, so it is time for you to exercise. I would like you to have a seat on our dual cycle ergometer. No feet pedals, but grab those handles and start exercising. Now, one of the negative effects of living in space is that microgravity reduces muscle mass and bone density. It's sort of like an accelerated aging process. To counteract this, astronauts must exercise for 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. The astronauts on the Expedition 45 crew right now exercise on similar equipment, including a treadmill as shown in the video and the Advanced Resistance Exercise Device. All right, Sally, you still have 1 hour, 59 minutes. I'll be back. I'm just kidding. You can go ahead and get off of that now. All right, Sally, I'd like you to stand right over here for me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you have been waiting for. The waste hygiene compartment. Sally, you know what this is? It's the space toilet, that's right. Now, you can't use water in the toilet space, so we use suction to do the job that gravity does for us here on Earth. If you need to go number 2, you do it the same way you would here. You lift up the toilet seat, and there is a hole at the bottom. But it's a very small hole, so you want to make sure that you have really good aim. You want to be on target. Now, once you know that you are in the exact right spot, you push a button in the back that starts the suction, and then you go. This suction pulls the solid waste away from the body and into a container. Now later we dispose of the solid waste, but we actually save the liquid waste. Do you know what your liquid waste is, Sally? You know what your liquid waste is? That's right, it's your urine, your pee. It goes in here. Suction takes over for you. Later, like I said, we dispose of the solid waste, but water is one of the most valuable commodities on the station, so we recycle all of it. So it goes in there, and it ends up in here. Nice. We drink it. That's right, we drink it again and again and again. Not your average packet of Kool-Aid, folks. Now, the liquid waste actually goes through filtration and forward osmosis. So what you end up with is totally pure water. Even more pure than the bottled water you drink here on Earth. You just got to get over the mental hang-up, which is the hardest part. Now, not only will recycling water in a closed-loop system help us save water on the station, we're also using this technology on Earth right now, not just to recycle water, but also to save lives. Now, Sally, I would like you to stay right where you're standing for me. You just used the facility, so you're probably going to wash your hands. But remember, we can't use water, so astronauts clean their hands with antibacterial hand wipes, and they also use very large wipes for their bodies, sort of like a space sponge bath. NASA has also developed a no-rinse shampoo that the astronauts use for their hair. And let me tell you, astronauts really look forward to taking a real shower when they get back to Earth. I'll go ahead and take that for you. Very well. All right, now Sally, I would like for you to float on with me over to the galley area. You and your fellow astronauts would be floating around down here, some right side up, some upside down, talking about your day and preparing meals. These days, astronauts can have all sorts of delicious drinks and meals just by adding water. You know what kind of water they use, Sally? That's right, they use the urine water. Just add water and enjoy. Now, you have to hold on to everything, otherwise it'll float away. So all of your food packages have Velcro on them, and you also have Velcro on your clothing. Now, this right here is grits and butter. And let me tell you, I love this stuff. But I can never have it, because it always goes straight to my thighs. All right, Sally, we have demonstrated sleeping, exercising, going to the bathroom, personal hygiene, and food preparation. But there is one last part of our astronaut training for today. The ISS isn't just a place to live. It's also a place to conduct scientific research that you cannot do on Earth. And now, Sally, you are going to demonstrate how we do that research. I would like for you to stand right over here for me. Arms to your side, look straight ahead. Now, Sally, this is very important. Do Do not move. You must stay completely still. I'm going to perform a highly specialized body scan on you. You're being very brave, Sally, very brave. Now, this does not hurt at all, but it does leave a small permanent mark. Oh, Sally, that looks excellent. You did a wonderful job. You might want to check yourself for that mark, though. You never know where it could be. Oh, you might find it later. All right, Sally, I have one more task for you. I need you to follow me down this way, and I'm going to have you return to your seat. And the reason I'm sending you down there is you're going to see a lot better what we're going to do with your body scan that we just did over there. Now, while the system is processing Sally's body scan, I think I need a sip of some delicious recycled water. All this talking's made me thirsty. Excuse me 1 second. Tangy. Now, here on Earth, gravity keeps this tasty beverage inside. But take gravity away, and watch what happens. With gravity gone, surface tension becomes the dominant force. Notice when two blobs of water come together, they merge, forming a bigger blob of water. Physics appears to behave very differently in microgravity. And when they hit an absorptive surface, like that towel over there, a wicking action powerfully sucks them into the towel, sort of like a sponge. Cheers! All right, Sally, where are you? Go ahead and raise your hand. All right, I'm going to see if the system is done processing your body scan. Oh, well, here we go. So this is what happens when astronauts like Sally go into microgravity. The fluids in your body move up from your arms and legs into your head. This makes your legs thin and your face puffy. Now, this phenomena has a highly technical name. It is very scientific. It is called chicken legs. Also in microgravity, your bones lose calcium and your spine grows up to 2 inches. Your heart also shrinks just a little bit. But don't worry, Sally, when you get back to Earth, your heart gradually returns to normal. Now, as for the calcium loss and some other things, recovery is a bit more difficult. That's why our astronauts like Sally are such willing test subjects, helping us to understand how microgravity can affect long-distance space travelers. In other words, before we can go to Mars, we will have to figure out a way to prevent osteoporosis. Now, biological processes are not the only things that are different in microgravity. Chemical reactions behave differently too. I want to show you guys something. Well, there we go. Everything's working. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Now notice how a simple candle flame looks on Earth. See the shape of the flame? It forms a teardrop shape. Well, did you ever wonder why? The fire makes the air hot, so it rises. This causes other cooler air to rush in at the bottom and take its place. This process is called convection, and it's why flames on Earth have this shape, rounded at the bottom and pointy at the top. But in microgravity, heat cannot rise, so there is no airflow, no convection. So what does it do? Well, as you can see, it burns as a round globe instead of that. And check this out. It burns more completely, much cleaner, and more efficiently. Having a laboratory in microgravity allows us to see why it does this and how we can get it to do this on Earth. This could be very important for future engine designs. Our microgravity research on the physics of combustion will lead us to more efficient fuels and less pollution. So as you've seen, the unique laboratory in microgravity is a great place to conduct experiments you can't do on Earth. Just try combining large amounts of lead and tin. The lead is heavier than the tin, so it sinks to the bottom, whereas the tin rises to the top. They just do not mix. They keep wanting to separate like oil and water. But in microgravity, lead and tin can easily be mixed together, creating a new alloy that can be used for all sorts of things, like components for your computer or mobile phone. It is very useful, and you can't make it on Earth. The unique laboratory in microgravity is also an excellent place to conduct scientific research and experiments like medical research and development. So let's say you're a scientist on Earth studying a really nasty bug or disease. you would need to grow lots of cells to experiment on. The only problem is cells grown in microgravity, cells grown outside the living body don't get very big before their own weight crushes them and then they die. But cells grown in microgravity thrive. They grow quicker, they grow larger, and they grow in 3 dimensions. This is a huge medical breakthrough. We can generate large quantities of cells, and scientists can use the data to study research back here on Earth. In the coming years, you can expect amazing advances in disease control, genetics, biochemistry, and organ transplant, all because of the unique laboratory on the ISS. So as you have seen, the ISS is a great place to conduct experiments you can't do on Earth, and it is already helping to better our lives here on Earth today. But what it has to offer our future, well, that is even more exciting. The ISS is a stepping stone in our journey off the planet. Beyond low Earth orbit, to asteroids, to Mars, and even to the stars beyond. And I know we have some future explorers sitting in our audience today. All right, Sally, I have one more important task for you. I need you to come on up to the front. Go ahead and face your audience and take a huge bow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have another big round of applause. And Sally, I would like for you to meet me at the bottom of the stairs, because I'm going to give you a special gift for being my brave astronaut today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me at Living in Space. To learn more about the ISS, check out the exhibits that surround this stage. Don't forget to check out the Starship Gallery. It has the largest collection of moon rocks on public display anywhere, and you can even touch one of them. Check out the Blast-Off Theater and our 2 NASA transports. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your day at Space Center Houston.